Just when we thought it couldn't get any better, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is getting another superhero series, and we're not complaining. Echo is the newest addition to the roster, and is a spin-off show from the fan-favorite Hawkeye series. So let's discuss everything we know about it so far, starting with Echo joins the MCU. The new series starring Alaqua Cox is a spin-off of the Hawkeye series that debuted last year on Disney+. This show will follow the story of Maya Lopez, aka Echo. She is a deaf Cheyenne woman who can mirror anyone's abilities and has superhuman athletic skills. The character is a major step in the right kind of on-screen representation for superheroes, with a hearing-impaired Native American woman with a leg amputation donning the superhero cape. In an interview with People, Alaqua said, "I had no acting experience before Hawkeye. I was only involved in one school play in high school, but I was a background actor. All that changed when her friends saw a casting call for Marvel. They saw the casting call looking for a Native American actress and female deaf actress. It just matched so perfectly, so I decided to go for it." She shared, "I had never seen anybody on screen that maybe looked like me, deaf and amputee." We're sure the sentiment must have grown tenfold now that she's playing the titular role. Next we have Maya's backstory. First, from the comics. In the comics, Maya Lopez is the adoptive daughter of Kingpin. She has a handprint on her face which is an eye to her father's murder and has photographic abilities with athletic level skills. Since she can mirror anyone's abilities, she can pick up skills and superpowers just by looking at people. Her abilities have made a martial artist, concert pianist, gifted ballerina, and highly skilled acrobat out of her. She also gained the abilities of blind superhero Daredevil and Bullseye. In the comics, she became Thunderbird, a part of the Phoenix Force, and gained a host of new abilities, including flight, telepathy, superhuman strength, and can generate cosmic energy fireballs. Her deafness does hold her back in some ways since she relies on her sight. In the dark and with people that have masks on, she has trouble navigating and taking orders. And second, from the Hawkeye series. Alaqua Cox made her debut in Marvel's Hawkeye series on Disney+. She was introduced as a deaf gang leader who calls the shots on the Tracksuit Mafia. She was hell-bent on finding Clint Barton, or Ronan, played by Jeremy Renner, as she knew him, and making him pay for his misdeeds. Her story diverged from the comics a bit. In the comics, her father was an associate of Kingpin's who was killed by the crime boss. In the TV series, her father was killed by Clint when he had gone rogue and was operating as Ronan, hence her deadly vendetta against the Archer. While in the comics, her father's involvement in the criminal world was the tether that brought her to the dark side, she went bad after Kingpin pinned her father's death on Clint. She later found out who was actually responsible for the murder and joined Daredevil in using her powers for the greater good. However, in the series, Ronan's murder of her father pushed her into the world of crime after Kingpin. Now for Echo, the plot. The plot of the upcoming TV series will revolve around Maya. She is the first indigenous person in the MCU to get a leading role. In the series, she'll have to reckon with her past and answer for her ruthlessness as a gang leader in New York. She will leave New York and go back to her hometown and get in touch with her Native American roots. The series will have strong undercurrents of themes like family and community, as Maya will have to reconnect with her past to save her future. Also, the series is rumored to bring about another showdown between Kingpin and Daredevil as well, but we're still waiting on more news on that end, and it's unsure if said clash will follow the events of the comic or take a new, more Echo-centric path in the show. Time for a first look. The show's first look has been shared. The glimpse into the show comes as a still where Maya can be seen leaning against some kind of vehicle, in a purple sweater and black pants. She has a backpack on her shoulder. The picture could be from a scene where she's leaving New York for her hometown, which, according to sources about where the show is filming, could be Atlanta. The cast and crew. The cast is largely Native American, with Alaqua Cox reprising a role as Echo. Supporting cast include Chaske Spencer, Devery Jacobs, Tantoo Cardinal, Cody Lightning, Zahn McLaren, and Graham Greene. The directorial trousseau includes Katrina McKenzie and Sidney Freeland, while the project is being produced by Kevin Feige, Richie Palmer, Louis D'Esposito, Brad Winderbaum, Victoria Alonso, Stephen Broussard, Marion Derry, and Jason Gavin. Originally, Emily Cohen and Ethan Cohen are roped in for scriptwriting purposes, but no news of their attachment to the project have surfaced since. While we await some more echoes of news about Maya Lopez, let's talk about some more Marvel and Disney Plus news, starting with Obi-Wan Kenobi puts warning label on new episodes. The newly released episode of Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi carries a warning label for intensive content after the Texas shooting. In these episodes, an event from the past is shown where Order 66 is being carried out, which accounted for the near extinction of the Jedi. In one particular scene, clone troopers barge into the training area of some Force-sensitive younglings and start shooting at the Jedi and children. No child is hurt by the blaster fires, but the scene could still be triggering to some viewers considering recent tragic events. The warning was added only a few hours after the show aired and takes into account how raw emotions are nationwide following the recent tragedy. Next, Jude Law to play the titular role in Skeleton Crew. Fresh out of the success of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Jude Law is set to take on the titular role in Disney Plus's upcoming TV series Skeleton Crew. The show was announced in Anaheim at the Star Wars Celebration event. The series will be part of the larger Star Wars stories, and while Law's role has not been announced at the moment, the series boasts a strong crew. Director John Watts, writer Christopher Ford, and executive producer Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are taking on the film's development. The Dream Team has worked on the Spider-Man trilogy before. The official synopsis for the show describes the series timeline falling after the fall of the Empire. While details of the plot have not been divulged yet, a casting act has been put out for for child actors in the 11 or 12-year bracket. The show is being touted as a mix of galactic classic ambient coming-of-age film and adventure flicks of the 80s. Finally, Thor's new trailer tells the Space Viking story. Thor: Love and Thunder's new trailer is out, and we finally got some more news. This second trailer tells us more about the story of the original Space Viking, who also happens to be a god. As Thor sets off on an intergalactic journey to faith and fitness, the blonde Adonis is busy going from dad bod to god bod while looking within. In Love and Thunder, Thor comes to terms with some shocking pieces of news. To sum things up, Mjolnir's back. It's being wielded by another mighty Thor. Said Thor is his ex-girlfriend Jane, and there's an intergalactic god killer on a rampage. Woo, that was a mouthful. Now, let's dissect these, shall we? Starting with Mjolnir. Thor's beloved hammer was thought to be lost after Hela crushed the iconic weapon in Thor Ragnarok, and marked the god of Thunder's switch to Stormbreaker. However, to Thor's astonishment, the weapon is fine. Certainly not crushed into super powerful galactic god dust. The next shocker comes when instead of flying into his hands like old times, the hammer flies to its new owner, a different Thor. Beefed up and wearing some kick-ass armor, headgear included, Mjolnir is being wielded by none other than Jane, the ex of all exes. Thor is flabbergasted at her new mighty Thor status, and still a tiny bit smitten, if we may add. Jane is equally surprised to see him, but the next part is the one that knocked us all out for a bit. Thor has put his retirement on hold for a bit since there's a new villain on the loose. Gorr the God Butcher has a special vendetta against gods, in case the name misleads you a bit there, and he's out on a killing spree. Which brings us to Zeus's domain, Olympus, in a reunion with the badass Valkyrie, as the band get together to try and put a stop to Gorr's plans, who is plain terrifying by the way. The trailer just makes us a bit more restless for the release of Thor: Love and Thunder, which comes out on July 8th, 2022. That's a wrap for this video. Are you excited for the release of Echo? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one!